Vis mig hjerte.
I've seen the Kingdom, the two first episodes of this third season in Venice. I was in Venice covering it,
Yeah.
and I could see on the big screen, which for me was beautiful. But even though it's good to, travel, with the series around, isn't it?
Fantastic. Did you see also the third season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love your character, I think she's the communication between the two words, you know what I mean? Like she's the one, isn't it?
Yes.
She's the link. So how did you approach her? How did you feel about her? The first time you read the script, how was it?
Yes. I 25 years ago, I did a movie with Lars von Trier. It's called The Idiots.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. And I was the main character there or the character I played, she is called Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read, not long after we did The Idiots, Lars had this idea of finishing The Kingdom. So he showed me a little synopsis that he had made about this character who comes from outside somewhere on her own. And he hadn't decided she was a sleepwalker at that time, but she was this lonely character in a way. I noticed that her name was Karen. And I said, "Is it Karen from The Idiots?" He said, "Yes, it's the same. We can say it's the same, but because of course not everyone has seen The Idiots, but in our story, in my story, in our story, she's the same. She in The Idiots, I was 35 when I did that. Now I'm 61, and Lars has also become older. We have both become older. Karen, the character there, she had a baby in The Idiots, and the baby died. There's this death with babies where they sleep and they never wake up. It's called cradle death or something they call it here in Denmark. And Karen's baby had suffered from that. And that's my story, to be a sleepwalker. She is looking for her little child. She's looking for the bed and she wants to find out about some things. And I don't know if you noticed, she had this gown. She's wearing this with the little elephants. And in my head, it's the material that she wanted to make curtains for the baby's room, but the baby never came, or she was only there for a very short time. And then she made this gown to keep her warm. And she, in her sleep, she enters the kingdom. And that is the Exodus idea, where entering is as good as leaving. You saw the end, of course, where everything breaks down. Yes. And Karen is a very strong, she's a very strong human being. She's a very nice human being, very human. She bakes little cakes, she makes crosswords, she makes little puzzles and lives out there in the country. And I like very much that people has written sleepwalker on her house with blood. No, but she's a human being and with a mission. And of course, it's a mission impossible for Karen. Because she is a very, pure human being. Like Karen.
She's naive visionary. She has a good heart. Yeah,
she's naive. And evil, the evil powers of the kingdom is they easily cheat her.
Yeah, she's a beautiful character, I think. I like the idea that the hospital is a microcosm of, the world as well, and the power games, and the naive ones, as Karen, they get, mocked but at the same time, they show us the real truth. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, she's the clever one. You know what I mean? She exposes how crazy we are inventing these kind of games, you know? Like,
yes, exactly. And together with her guardian, the very big Buller, the guy who drives her around but it's true, it's a microcosmos. It could be any also big institution. It could be our society. And now with the thing we have now, I think Lars has been very clever at bringing it up to our time. And then the dream is a very good, also a very good setting. The dream is a good setting for the story, because when I see it now, I was also very happy. Because when you record or when you go to every day to make more little scenes in when we did do the days, on a film, I thought, what? It's a very complicated, plot and very complicated character. But when I saw it in the end, all the five, I thought, whoa, it's coming together. And because the film media is not a very old media. It's not like the painting or the poetry or it's a very new media in a way. It's not very old, but it becomes very old very soon. I mean, a film, you think, well, that will happen, that. But Lars is very good at breaking the frames all the time, breaking. So it's like, when I see it, I thought also, well, it's like when you look at the net, if you Google something, you get to this point. Wow, then you get to this and this and this.
It's kind of random, isn't it? We are never in our comfort zone. I love this about Lars' work, all the works. It's never predictable, isn't it?
No, that's
how is working with him is the same. He doesn't do rehearsals, isn't it? Like,
he doesn't do rehearsal. We the first take is always what we think. We just, you have to be in this room, we have to say these things, and we just do it. And then he has of course the photographer there, and suddenly the photographer is also in the picture, and then we must finish, but then we take it again, but he often uses what he finds in the first take. No, but it's true. We did that in The Idiots. It was a dogma film. Also a very good idea to clear out and to clean out cliches and things like that. You get the roughness of it, and then this very sophisticated plot that he has in the Kingdom. It's with replicants and I don't know what, with the whole Me Too, the case of the Me Too, the Congress of be a friend with your pain, and all the doctors are just interested in the free shit that they get when they get home, the goodie bags were loaded with painkillers. I think it's very sharp, and very serious, also very deep.
And Lars has the ironic way of seeing everything, isn't it? And at the same time he's full of humor. He doesn't take too seriously, and I think like sometimes people, like especially in hospitals or politicians, even artists, they take themselves too seriously. They exactly. What I mean? And Lars breaks everything, what I mean? Even himself, isn't it?
Yeah. And he has that's also, I think, what he has given his life to the film, because he never makes compromises, and it's very tough in this business. He gave his life. Now he's a shaking little man, but but his wit and his mind is still working very, very, very good and sharp. And it's like, maybe I have never been that close to any genius in a way, because he thinks he is like and he has found his way of expressing it in the films he makes, because I must say it's, and he doesn't see a lot of modern things. He sees old stuff. Yeah.
Well, he go for the masters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I have to wrap up, but it was great talking to you. Really, I really love your work. I've seen the Dogma films, all of them.
Yes.
And I interviewed Lars a couple of times, and I really admire him. I agree with you. He's such a genius, and I think his genius way of looking reality, sometimes you have to be crazy to deal with this.
Yeah, he's also lonely in that sense, but he likes to be.
That's good. Genius.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Thank you.